In other news now, school transport drivers in Qonce in the Eastern Cape have downed tools. Drivers claim the government hasn't been paying them for their services. The strike has left many pupils, including matriculants, stranded and unable to write their exams. eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda is on the story and joining us now this hour for an update. Good afternoon, Ronald. Welcome to Today. Thanks for your time. So what is the Transport Department saying about this situation in the Eastern Cape?
Good afternoon, Prajan. Well, the department says that outstanding payments will be processed this Friday. It says that it had issues with the systems that are in place, but they have promised that they will make payments to all drivers who are affected. Many of the drivers who are affected are from the minibus taxi industry. Now, the Transport Department also saying that the outstanding payments are only for the month of October. Now, this is contradiction of some of the issues that the drivers have been telling us, some of them saying for months they have gone unpaid. We heard from Qonce earlier. She is the person responsible for the payments at the Department for Transport.
The Department of Transport had a challenge in processing operator payments for the month of October. And as such, not everyone was paid because of a challenge, systematic problem that we encountered. But as of today, the department has managed to request a special run from Provincial Treasury, and everyone who has not been paid will be paid in today's run, and every operator will be getting their monies in their bank accounts on Friday, this Friday. We hope everything will be fine and this challenge has been resolved. It was a challenge between the systems in Provincial Treasury and National Treasury. Thank you.
So we are also joined, Brighton, by the Department for Education here in the province. The spokesperson is Malibongwe Mtima. Mtima, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure this must have had a negative impact on schooling.
Look, for now, we are still assessing the situation, and we are talking to all our district and circuit to check the impact of this. And probably this evening we'll be in a position to know how has this affected schooling and or how has this affected the examinations. But for now, all I'm willing to say is that we are still assessing the matter on the ground, getting reports from the districts. Thus far, the reports that have come through are still positive, and we are hoping that such remain as the case.
The Department of Transport saying that, this has only been an issue for the month of October. We understand from a number of sources that they've been grappling for months getting payments. How has this been dealt with in the province?
Look, I'm not in a position to talk on their behalf, but what I can say to you is that thus far we've been working very well, and this came through to us as a surprise, and as such, hence we had to establish a quick response team that will go on the ground and show that issues that have been, in fact, assessing schools that have been affected so that we can be in a position to say how severe is this, and maybe from there we'll have a fallback position, because as we speak the leadership is behind closed door engaging on the matter.
We know that there are over 5,000 schools in the province. How many have been affected so far with regards to this issue of scholar transport?
Like I said to you, thus far we're still awaiting reports that are trickling in. Probably we can be able to give a number, an exact number, around 4:30, when we know that everybody has sent in the report and we have assessed them, and then we'll make a decision based on that, whether this has had an adverse impact or not.
Without sounding like I'm passing the buck, we know that it is the Transport Department that deals primarily with scholar transport. But surely, as the Education Department, you also have a responsibility in this matter.
Well, the matter is squarely a transport matter. But since we're having learners, or we're providing learners and routes, of course it does affect us. Hence we are hoping that it will be addressed in earnest, so that everything can go back to normality, because should it not or should it escalate, it may have a dire impact on us.
All right, let me put it this way to you. What if it affects matriculants? Because we know that as a province, there are issues, many other issues faced by students or pupils who are in grade 12. What then is the next move?
For now, like I said to you, the leadership is behind closed door engaging, number one. Number two, we are assessing the situation. I do not want to be presumptuous and assume that this will not be resolved. I'm optimistic that a lasting solution will be found on this, so that our learners are back to school. But like I said, we, on the other hand, we are still continuously assessing the matter on the ground, so that we can speak with authority after, of course, having said how far or how adverse is the impact on us.
All right, thank you, sir. We really appreciate your time. Well, that's the word from the spokesperson for the Education Department here in the Eastern Cape. Things are being discussed behind closed doors. We do understand that, Bratan, there will be a meeting as well tomorrow, a launch, in fact, where Oscar Mabuyane, the Premier of the province, will be meeting with the MEC for Education, Fundile Kati, here in the Eastern Cape. And that will be a meeting or an event where they will be issuing out textbooks. But I'm sure this will be an issue that should also be discussed there, given the seriousness of this issue. Earlier on in the day, we were in Qonce speaking to stranded school children and their parents. They don't know exactly if they will be getting any opportunities to write exams. So that's how serious the situation is here.
Thank you very much, Ronald Masinda, for that update about the seriousness of the situation facing pupils at this time of the year as they're writing exams because of that taxi strike.